Hello, everyone. Welcome to our session. You all know that Snowflake is one of the best data and AI platform for SQL developers, and we continue to deliver on that. Today, we're going to talk to you about what's new for SQL developers and how migrations to Snowflake got a lot easier. I am Yogita Chilukuri, product manager here at Snowflake for SQL developer experience and time series analytics. And we have with me here Fernando. Fernando, could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Jagita. I'm Fernando Cardoce. I'm a product manager for SnowConvert on the migration side of Snowflake, where we help you path your way through a Snowflake. So thank you for joining us. Back to you, Jagita.
Thanks, Fernando. So, we've always been one of the best AI and data platforms for SQL developers, and we continue to innovate on that. Snowflake is dedicated to supporting SQL developers by driving continuous innovations. We've made many improvements in the recent few months. And I would like to talk about two main areas, or we'll share about them today in our presentation. So, first one of our key focuses is helping you accelerate your migration of your workloads from one of these other systems such as SQL Server, Oracle, and Teradata to Snowflake with ease. With SnowConvert, migrating your existing code to Snowflake becomes a streamlined process. There's reduced complexity and allowing you to make most of Snowflake's powerful capabilities. Second, we've already have a rich SQL support with a long list of native functions. And you can use Snowflake scripting for your procedural scripts. And you can use UDFs and UDTFs to write custom functions. But our recent enhancements further improve our SQL capabilities. It not only boosts your productivity, but also helps you derive insights faster and more effectively. And if you're looking to learn more about SQL innovations where ML is used under the hood, we have a session later that you can join where you can learn how ML is used under the hood to improve customer or detect customer churn. So, whether you're focused on modernizing your infrastructure or optimizing queries for better performance, Snowflake is here to empower every SQL developer in every step. So, Fernando, could you talk to us a little bit about SnowConvert and what are the innovations we have done here and how we've made SQL developers' life easier with SnowConvert?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. As Jagita mentioned, SnowConvert is our native conversion tool, a highly powerful migration tool that allows you to migrate DDLs and DMLs code into Snowflake. But we all know that migrations are more than just code conversion. A critical step in that process is when we assess what's needed for our migration, when we assess how much of that code we can simply migrate into Snowflake and what code needs some extra attention. In the past, we added a feature to provide free tables with that assessment process. And now we're going to step beyond that and providing free views with that same assessment process. When you run your assessment in your planning phase, you will get also free views and free tables. And that way you have the complete data model converted into Snowflake already, which gives you a step forward in the migration scenario and gets you sooner into Snowflake. At Snowflake, we have used SnowConvert for over 5 years. And in that time, we have converted billions of lines of codes and millions of database objects with a very high conversion rate, meaning that the remaining of manual effort required for migrations is significantly lower with the tool itself. And now you can run an assessment and get views for free yourself by following the training that you can find in the QR that is present here. It's a simple training, and it will allow you to understand a little bit more on how SnowConvert works and how the migration process itself works. So I hope you can take a look at it and have a clear, free assessment of your migration with SnowConvert. And now that we have our code migrated into Snowflake, we can jump back to Yogita to review the new improvements on Snowflake SQL.
Thank you, Fernando. So now with SnowConvert, you've easily migrated your code from one of these other systems to Snowflake. And you've gone the further step to ingest the data that you want to have in Snowflake, but now you want to derive insights from it. You want to write analytical functions on top of it. And you can do a lot of it with existing SQL functionalities that are already there. But we have made two new enhancements that makes working with your data and derive insights much easier. So I'll talk about both of them today. The first one is we've added a new higher order function called reduce. To step back, Snowflake introduced higher order functions, namely filter and transform, this May. And with this, we have introduced a new higher order function called reduce. Reduce essentially aggregates the elements of an array into a single value based on the logic in the lambda expression. So overall, higher order functions provide a new and easy way to work with semi-structured data. So as seen in this example, it offers a more concise, readable, maintainable, and efficient approach for data manipulation and also for doing advanced analytics. So the second thing is we have enhanced the experience of interacting with stored procedures with the select from stored procedure feature. This aims to simplify the process to retrieve the results from the stored procedure. Earlier, what you had to do was you had to result scan the query IDs and create additional temporary tables. This method is not only simpler and more intuitive, but also addresses like a potential race condition associated with the use of last query ID for result scanning. So you can learn a lot about all of these features that we've talked about from our Snowflake documentation. And you can also start using SnowConvert for free by scanning this QR code. So now we're excited to show a demo which ties in all of these things that we have talked about today and show you how it works end to end. So Fernando, could you kick us off on this demo?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Jogita. In this demo, myself and Yogita will be playing the role of SQL developers looking to drive insights on an e-commerce business faster. For that, I need to migrate some code that I have in Teradata into Snowflake to take advantage of the Snowflake new improvements. I have SnowConvert open on my screen right now. As mentioned before, it's a native tool. I'm going to set up a new project. For this, I'll call it e-commerce demo and select the source of Teradata for our demo purposes. I'll browse. I already have the code in my desktop. SnowConvert does provide extraction scripts in the documentation to help you get your code out of the original source, which can be Teradata, Oracle, or SQL Server. And that way you can move it into your input file and provide a path to it in SnowConvert. Now that we have that file, that input path in SnowConvert, we'll provide an output path for it. I'll call it output in this demo. And then I'll select an assessment access code to continue with my free assessment. If you or someone don't have an assessment access code, you can get one by pressing the get an assessment access code. This will provide you with a form that you can fill and get your access code immediately. I'll then start with the assessment of our e-commerce code. SnowConvert is a tool that is way more than find and replace. It does provides a compiler that converts the code from the original source to Snowflake by creating a syntax table. Now that our code is converted, I'll take a look at the results. As mentioned before, the assessment is a pivotal part of the migration process. And right here, we can review detailed information on that assessment. We can see the amount of code that was converted, code units, and lines of code. I can see that only 33% of my code units were fully converted, but I can see that 92% of the lines of code were converted. I can go to the code unit summary to understand what happened there, and I can see that there were some views and tables that were not fully converted, meaning that some of the lines of code in those code units were not converted to a Snowflake, are marked with an EWI that we can review to understand what's going on. besides this detailed report on the code units and the information on your code, on your input code, SnowConvert also provides you with a sample of what a conversion will look like for the specific objects in your code. It will pick around 5 objects in your original input, and it will then show them in your SnowConvert as a preview. Right now, our code is fairly simple and it doesn't have a lot of objects in it, but it does provide an idea of what it looks like. With that being said, let's take a look at the output folder of SnowConvert. Uh, I'll go to the output path that I provided SnowConvert previously, and we can find the assessment result that we just did. Right here, you can find the output and you can find this views for free as mentioned before. So let's go and open those views and review them in our code editor. As you can see, let's open side by side the original view. I'll have this one here, and I'll open the converted code at the side. And as you can see, it's convert the code from Teradata into Snowflake code with a table and a view here for free, providing EWIs on things that need attention, like, for example, in here, Snowflake does not support the period data type, so SnowConvert converted it to bar chart instead. That's something that can be ignored or that can be reviewed and edit during the migration process. So you can take a look on this level of details and assessment on your code. So now we have tables, we have views for free, and we can move into Snowflake and start taking advantage of this conversion. So Jokita, I'll send the code to you. I know you already have it on Snowflake, so let's continue with our e-commerce experiment.
Thank you, Fernando. Now, with SnowConvert's help, we've been able to get the code migrated from Teradata to Snowflake. And to reiterate what we're doing, we're playing the role of SQL developers who want to gain value from their customer order data on a retail or an e-commerce platform. And to be specific also about the use case, this SQL developer wants to apply dynamic discounting based on the type of product that the customer is buying and the type of customer they are by themselves. And we'll run through that workflow today. So now this is a simplistic, for the purposes of demo, we created a very simple code that SnowConvert generates. And let's say we've also added new columns and data that we think is necessary for downstream analytics. So let's create those tables that are needed for the downstream analytics. So we have a order details table. It has information about the purchases made by each customer. So we have 2 customers here. One is John Doe and the other one is Jane Smith. One of them is a regular customer, whereas the other one is a new customer. I'll also go a little bit through this order details array because it's important for our demo. So as you notice here, order details is an array of objects where each object contains information about what is the product being bought, what is the price, and the number of that products that are being bought by this customer. And you'll see there are categories of electronics, accessories, and there's also groceries. So this is how our data looks. And as I was saying, this is a very simplistic view, and the amount of data is only for demo purposes. But you can just scale this example to a larger data set. So now, as I was saying, let's say in this demo, what this SQL analyst wanted to do is to apply dynamic discounting based on the type of customer and category. So in their logic, the logic is that a customer that is a regular customer gets more discount. And when they're buying, let's say, electronics, which are more of higher value, they get a little more discount than when they're buying accessories. But the important thing to note is that they could have written an ad hoc query to apply or apply the rules of this dynamic discounting, but they went the route of writing a stored procedure instead, because they anticipate that this logic of dynamic discounting is going to be used in several parts of the workflow, and they want to use this reuse this code everywhere, and they do not want different SQL developers to come up with slightly different logic of how to apply dynamic discounting. So they created this stored procedure, and let's run that. And you'll see that this stored procedure is written in SQL. So it's the Snowflake scripting that we were talking about. So now this is the apply discounts of the stored procedure. Customer orders is the table that we were talking about, which has the details of these two customers. Let's run the apply discount stored procedure for this table. So what the stored procedure does is apply or tells what is the dynamic discount or discounting applied to each of their products that were being bought. So for example, here you'll see a discounted price key being added to each of the objects in the order details. And you'll see that a new customer who's buying a smartphone, which is of $700, gets it at $665, but a regular customer gets it at a much lesser price, which is $595. All right. Another thing to note is that this discounting is only applying to electronics and accessories, but someone who's buying groceries does not get any discount. So this essentially just shows how it was so easy to add a dynamic discounting to each of their customer orders. And you'll see that we were able to apply this with a very, very simple syntax, which by writing select star from table and then directly using the stored procedure apply discounts. What did you have to do earlier to achieve the same results? You had to first invoke the stored procedure by using call applied discounts, and then do the result scanning and create a temporary table or create a table in this instance and select star from that other table. So now all of these steps are not necessary, and all you have to do is directly you can say select star from table and put in your stored procedure name. Like we discussed earlier, one thing to note is this is only applicable for stored procedures which do not have any side effects. So in this stored procedure, we are calculating new value, but we are not making any changes to the table that is already there. So that is important to note. So now we've defined the stored procedure, which adds this discounted price. It calculates the discounted price for each of the orders that is being placed. Now, let's say for downstream analytics, what is important is you want to understand the effect of the discounts. Let's say it's important to understand what is the actual basket size versus what is the discounted basket size. And let's say a data scientist downstream is wants to see if giving more discounts gets more customers or increases the lifetime value of these customers in a period of time. So now you'll see here that I've used the higher order functions. Not only am I using this higher order function reduce that is newly introduced, but I'm also using this other higher order function called filter. So what I'm doing here is I'm filtering. I know that I'm, let's say, only interested to know about the effect of discounts for the category electronics and not really bothered about accessories and let's say the other categories like groceries we saw. So what I'm doing here is I'm filtering only the orders which have or which are relevant for electronics. And then aggregating the values and seeing what is the value of electronics basket size and what is the basket size value after the discount. So let's see what comes up. So let me run this function, and you'll see that for John Doe, the basket size was $1,400, but after discounting, it's 1,190. Similarly, Jane Smith, it was $700, but now after discounting, it's 665. You'll see that it was so easy and such a small piece of code helped you to filter out the records of your interest. That is, let's say we wanted to look only at electronics, and then process that array to calculate the basket value for electronics specifically before and after discounting. and you can see easily like why this will be used by a downstream, or how this will be used by a downstream processes and by data scientists, to understand if actually giving this discount is helping bring in more customers in the future, or bring in more orders in the future. So earlier, if you had to do this, you would have to use things like lateral flatten. And then for filtering, use things like sum, and then use cases. So all of this is not necessary, and you can write this with a simple piece of code, and it makes working with semi-structured data much easier now with these higher order functions. So you've seen that all the new innovations that we have made in this space can help first migrate your code from other systems to Snowflake much easier, and get value from your data also much faster. So we hope you're excited about these features as we are, and use them to become more productive, write more efficient code, and gain value from your data much more faster. So thank you, everyone. We hope that you really enjoyed this session.
Thank you and goodbye.